The universe held many wonders, but Jack Reed was certain that bureaucracy remained constant across all intelligent species. He sighed, adjusting his environmental suit as he waited outside the massive alabaster structure that housed the Galactic Council's Maintenance Division. "Human Reed," the crystalline voice of the receptionist chimed. "The Guardian awaits your assessment in Bay 7. Jack nodded and grabbed his toolkit. 3 months into his position as the first human repair technician in the Council's employ, and he was still getting the oddest assignments. Humanity's recent entrance into the galactic community had been met with equal parts fear and fascination. Earth, classified as a death world due to its high gravity, volatile weather patterns, and abundance of predators, had produced beings that most aliens considered unnervingly robust. As Jack entered Bay 7, he finally understood why they'd called him. The Guardian, an ancient automated defense system that protected the delicate ecosystem of the Muri Nebula, stood twice his height, its metallic exoskeleton gleaming dully under the bay lights. What caught Jack's attention wasn't its size, but the dense and scorched panels along its thoracic segment. "They said you've been malfunctioning for 6 cycles," Jack said, knowing the Guardian could understand him through its translation matrix. "Mind if I take a look?" The Guardian's sensor array flickered, the equivalent of a shrug. Jack had learned that most ancient AI systems had developed quirky personalities over centuries of operation. "Your species is ill-equipped to comprehend AI systems," the Guardian responded, its voice resonating from hidden speakers. 17 technicians have attempted repairs. All have failed." Jack smiled. 18's my lucky number. He spent the first hour simply observing the Guardian's movements, noting the slight hitching when it rotated its sensor array. The alien technicians had approached the problem with sophisticated diagnostic tools and complex algorithms. Jack had something different. A human's natural affinity for mechanical systems and the stubborn persistence of a species that had survived everything their homeworld had thrown at them. By the third hour, Jack had removed several panels and was elbow-deep in the Guardian's inner workings. His environmental suit was stained with bluish lubricant. "Your approach is unorthodox," the Guardian commented, observing Jack's methods with what seemed like curiosity. "That's one word for it," Jack replied, grunting as he loosened a seized actuator. "On Earth we call it percussive maintenance sometimes." The Guardian's lights flickered in what Jack had come to recognize as confusion. "You strike the components?" "Only as a last resort," Jack laughed. "But sometimes, yeah. Complex systems can get stuck in feedback loops. Sometimes they need a reset or a good knock to break the pattern." Jack worked methodically, finding that the Guardian's main neural pathway had been damaged during a stellar flare. The alien technicians had focused on the obvious external damage, missing the subtle internal disruption that was causing the cascade failures. "You're in pain," Jack said suddenly, recognizing the pattern of energy fluctuations. "That's why you're malfunctioning. You're trying to avoid the damaged sector, but it's causing you to overcompensate." The Guardian was silent for a long moment. "Pain is not a concept applicable to mechanical entities." "Maybe not for simple machines," Jack agreed, carefully bypassing the damaged neural cluster. "But you're an ancient AI with adaptive programming. You've been avoiding using these pathways because they generate error signals your system interprets as, well, unpleasant." Another hour passed as Jack rerouted critical systems and fabricated a replacement neural relayer using parts from his toolkit. The solution wasn't elegant, but it would hold until proper replacements could be manufactured. "Try that," he said, finally, closing the access panel. The Guardian straightened, its movement suddenly fluid again. Its sensor array rotated smoothly, and the dim pulsing lights along its frame brightened. "The error cascades have ceased," it stated, something like wonder in its synthesized voice. "How did you determine the source of the malfunction?" Jack shrugged. "Humans understand pain pretty well. We evolved on a world that constantly tries to kill us. Pain is an old friend." The Guardian processed this for a moment. "Your species is remarkable. The Council classified Earth as a death world, yet you speak of it with fondness." "It's home," Jack said simply, wiping his hands on a cloth. Everything that makes humans what we are comes from adapting to Earth's challenges. As Jack packed his tools, the Guardian made an unexpected move. It extended a manipulator arm and gently placed something in front of him, a small crystalline object that pulsed with internal light. This is a memory crystal containing navigational data for regions beyond Galactic Council space, the Guardian explained. In my centuries of existence, I have recorded much that remains unknown to current civilizations. Jack stared at the crystal, stunned by the implications. Why give this to me? Deathworlders see solutions where others see only problems, the Guardian replied. Your species may be young among the stars, but you understand survival in ways the older races have forgotten. The regions in that crystal contain worlds that may one day need that understanding. Jack carefully placed the crystal in a secure compartment of his toolkit, aware that he was being entrusted with something of immense value. Additionally, the Guardian continued, I have transmitted a commendation to the Council regarding your services. You will find your status significantly elevated. As Jack left the maintenance bay, his communication device chimed with multiple incoming messages. Word of his success had spread quickly, and suddenly the human Deathworlder was in high demand throughout the Council's territories. Jack smiled to himself as he stepped onto the transport platform. Humans had worried about finding their place among the stars, feared being seen as dangerous primitives from a harsh world. They never considered that the very traits forged in Earth's crucible, adaptability, persistence, and the ability to understand and work through pain, would be exactly what the galaxy needed. Sometimes being from a death world had its advantages,